Everybody, happy Wednesday. This is Beth Demon once again here bringing you the happy hour at home Instagram live weekly check-in on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild. As always, if this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for joining us. And if you have viewed the series in the past, we've been doing this for about 10 weeks or so. Thank you for joining us again. This week, our guests are, as always, a phenomenal lineup of some of the best of San Diego beer and what it has to offer. We've got Mike over at Latitude 33. We have Lance from Savage Wood. We're going to check in with Chris from Pure Project, and then we're going to wrap things up with Amy Spackman on behalf of the San Diego Brewers, or not the Brewers Guild, the San Diego Pink Boots Society, which is obviously, as a women's educational beer group, something that's near and dear to my heart. So before we get started, let me go ahead and pin the comment of what know what they are watching. So thank you as always for this very, very brief interruption. I'm not phenomenal at multitasking. There we go. And thank you everybody for always bearing with me. I know I've started about a minute late today, balancing life and kid and husband getting home from work and everything like that. So I swear I don't always look so disheveled, but that's okay. But before we do much more, let me crack open my beer. Before I open this, I will say I'm excited to drink this, but I was really looking forward to drinking a Booze Brothers dry hopped blonde, but I didn't realize that my husband drank the last one. So this Berliner Weiss will have to do. Stone's Notorious POG Berliner Weiss with passion fruit, orange, and guava, which is, I think, ideal for hopefully the last hot as balls day, because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm totally a little sweaty right now. So let's take a sip before we get too crazy. Yep, 4.7%. That's like super, super tropical. I would say like maybe one of the most like passion fruit forward beers I've had in a super long time. Man, that's like super good. So anyway, that's really good. Everybody should crack one of these today, because this is literally perfect for right now. So as always, before we check in with our guests, we do a short kind of overview of what is going on behalf of the Brewers Guild and the San Diego beer community at large. So some places are starting to open for dining in. So some of the brew pubs and breweries like AleSmith and places like that, where you can either have food, like North Park Beer Company, or they allow food trucks or have a, whatever, in-house kitchen. So that's exciting. Like O'Brien's just reopened for dine-in. So if you obviously are uncomfortable with doing that, takeout, I'm pretty sure everybody is still doing that as well. But, just be safe, be responsible, be smart, give it a go if you're feeling up for it, and wait it out if not. A lot of places aren't opening quite yet either. They're kind of waiting to get their ducks in a row before they dip their toes in that pool, which I totally respect. So just, be chill, be patient, wear a mask, tip 25% or more, and we'll start getting through this together, and hopefully we won't have a gigantic spike in resurgence or anything like that. So anyway, some other cool things that are happening is I've started to see some more like job opening listings. Boojcraft, not technically beer, but definitely, San Diego community. They're hiring a brewer. I saw that Little Miss Brewing, whatever your opinion is of them, out in La Mesa, they're hiring a front of house beer tender. Lots of places are starting to hire, front of house people, delivery drivers, things like that. So if you are furloughed or out of work, or you are just looking to enter the San Diego beer community as an employee, start taking a look at some of those job listings, because I have been seeing a couple. So good luck. Before we go too far, I would just be remiss if I feel personally like I need to say something. This is absolutely not on behalf of the Brewers Guild. This is just my personal opinion. This has been an extremely difficult week for the Black community, both in and out of beer, just in general across the United States. So, again, this is just my opinion and not on behalf of the Brewers Guild, but the things that have been happening, especially over the last couple of days, have been extremely horrific and hard to deal with, and unfortunately they're not surprising at all. So one thing that I have found to be a very good resource for the community that is absolutely San Diego homegrown, born and bred, is the Brandon Montgomery. His Instagram handle is Black Beer Travelers. He has put together a global map aggregating data and crowdsourcing to easily find Black-owned breweries and businesses, diversely owned beer businesses and things like that. So I really, really encourage people to, if you are looking for a way to support not only the local beer community, but the Black beer community, please do visit his Instagram page and take a look at the map that he has already really graciously put together. It really couldn't be easier to find Black-owned breweries to support, especially at this time. Like, it's really time to prioritize patronizing those, especially in our own community. So anyway, hashtag diversify your palate at Black Beer Travelers. Like, it is a way that we can all support our community just that much more and help us get through it. So I will be posting resource links for people who would like to know more about some ways to kind of combat racism and a couple other initiatives that are kind of near and dear to my heart on my personal Instagram page after this, which is at The Delighted Bite. So, again, if you have a problem with anything that I just said, please don't talk to the Brewers Guild, because this is just my opinion, Beth Demon at The Delighted Bite. So feel free to contact me and let me know what you think, or if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help in any way that I can. But that being said, since this is on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild, the website to find out more is sdbeer.com. They have a lot of resources for employees, brewery owners, brewery consumers, how to get through this time. It's obviously getting changed by the day, so take a look at that. Subscribe to the newsletter to get the most up-to-date information about brewery openings, who's closed, who's doing delivery, everything like that. There is merch that you can purchase to help support the local San Diego beer community. So sdbeer.com, please visit that if you would like more detailed, up-to-date information about the state of San Diego beer through COVID-19 and when this is not happening as well. So I'm going to bring on our first guest in just a minute. Remember, this is interactive. I can see comments. I can see questions. If you would like to ask the brewer or the person that I'm interviewing a question, or you have a comment, please feel free to comment and I will do my best to get to it. So yeah, without further ado, let's see if Latitude 33 is ready. I hope that you are on yours. I don't see you unless you are not on the Latitude 33 account. So if you are not on the official Latitude 33 account, there you go. I will add you right now. Join us, Latitude 3. We would love to talk to you. You're coming on. Hello.
There we go. Hi.
How's it going? Happy Wednesday.
Good to you as well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's do a quick intro, who you are, what you do, who you're with.
Sure. So I'm Mike Ingram. I'm the president and CEO of Latitude 33 Brewing. We've been in business now since 2011. So very much part of the San Diego craft movement, and excited to be here.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what operations are like for you guys right now.
Crazy, in a word, to say the least. Yeah, it's been a really wild, 2 months, and it's been tough for a lot of people. So, my heart goes out to the local bars and restaurant owners and the teams that have been affected, which is basically everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been a really tough time, and we've certainly got our work cut out for us. But yeah, it's really been just a couple months of kind of trying to stay one step ahead of what's going on and trying to anticipate how government mandates are going to impact us and our team and our customers. and just trying to evolve with the needs of our customers. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's been challenging. It's been a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, no doubt. To say the very least. So, what are some ways that you have evolved? I mean, are you doing delivery? Can people come pick up beer to go? Or are you doing more off premise? Like, how can people get your beer right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. Basically, all of the above. So we had never done any kind of direct to consumer delivery in the past, partly because we really couldn't. There was the three-tier system regulations in place
Yeah.
and all that, nonsense. Um, but also, we just had plenty uh, of customer, and revenue channel through our tap room and through our distribution. So we didn't,
Hmm.
really see the need. But obviously that changed.
Right.
And so we did launch the online ordering, direct to consumer delivery, and then still doing to goes because we
Hmm.
don't serve. So our tap room doesn't offer food beyond just kind of pre-made snacks, chips, etc.
Hmm.
And then the occasional food truck. But so we don't qualify for reopening
Hmm.
at this current stage. So, but that we're hoping that'll change soon when everyone's feeling more comfortable with the situation.
Right. Well, and hopefully people aren't going like too buck wild, like right off the bat. Like, I can still just eat at home for a little while. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
and totally, yeah.
so what are some of the beers that you guys have on right now that people can get from you, or even like what would you say you guys are kind of known for?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been kind of doing lately for since late 2019 is we're really trying to focus. It's a crowded market, very confused, hyper competitive to say the least. And so we really wanted to make sure that we're solid in who we are and what we represent, and that
Mm-hmm.
includes in reducing our offerings and while keeping it exciting with ultra limited releases throughout the year. So our cores would be the Blood Orange IPA, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the Lost Cities Hazy IPA, Honey Hips, an old favorite, and the Cold Craft Light Lager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we recently just launched our Hop Nectar IPA series, and we actually launched the first in that line right here. I got it right here. Hop Nectar 1, and this is a low ABV hazy IPA with Mandarina Bavarian hops paired with Citra. It's super juicy, touch of dankness. It's fantastic, very sessionable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, those low ABV hazies seem to be like, I feel like they were really poised to be the beer style, I guess, of 2020, especially this summer. And I still think that they could be, but obviously, this is a little bit abnormal. But I mean, that's like 100% what I've been super into. Like when the hazies kind of first started coming out, I was just like, yeah, I mean, this is good, but it's just a bit much. Like they're just so heavy and so thick often, and that's cool, but it's not necessarily what I want pint after pint of. But a couple of those early ones came out, and I've just been like loving the 4 or 5%. I just think it
mhm.
like kind of cuts it just that much to be like not crisp like a lager or something, but yeah, I mean, I think it's smart to be offering that right now because it's like it's new, but it's somehow still like a very comfortable beer to just turn to. It's complex, but it's still so easy to drink. So
Totally.
long story short, I love that.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, it's right in that wheelhouse, 4.7%. So, and
Yeah,
perfect for summer.
yeah.
So
What have
we
you found?
we really dig it.
What have you found yourself kind of leaning towards during this whole time? Like, have you kind of discovered any new styles that you hadn't really been into before, or like kind of regional favorites? What have you been gravitating?
Yeah, well, I'd probably align with a lot of the consumer trends that we're seeing, where it's kind of a return to nostalgia. A lot of the old favorite brands, what's comfortable. You
Yeah,
know, with all the craziness, everything changing constantly, it's nice to know that you got some stalwarts, that you can enjoy
yeah,
through and through, and you know exactly what to expect, where to find it, and
yeah,
so that's I have to say I've been revisiting old favorites quite a bit. Carl
yeah,
Strauss has been a big one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say like Aurora Hopialis is like some long time classic like Red Trolley is, but
Right.
it's like I get
For
it.
Carl is.
Like it. Right. You know,
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna get. I know I'm gonna like it, and I don't have to worry about like I need a home run like every single day. No chances.
100%. Totally hear you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you guys have been around for a really long time. I mean, especially compared to a lot of the other breweries who you know, it kind of started exploding in probably a couple of years after you. So how have you kind of seen things change from the time that you've started to now, even just ignoring kind of the current situation?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. Um, what exactly do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, I feel like you touched a little bit on just like hyper competitiveness. I mean,
Hmm.
there's just like way more people now, and I mean, even one of the questions that we just got from Estella is, you know, if you could brew anything and it didn't matter like what the trends were or anything like that, what would you brew? And I feel like the fact that that is even a question, like if you could ignore the trends
Yeah,
and through what you wanted to do. You
yeah,
know, I feel like that is even a difference from when people kind of started, where you sort of did just brew what you wanted, and now there's all these other little subsets where you're like, well, I gotta have a hazy, whether you like them or not, you gotta have them. So I guess it's just, from your perspective, how have you seen the evolution of San Diego beer kind of take place over the last almost 10 years?
yeah, yeah. So it's hard. It's really hard to say because, you know, a lot of the trends really do make sense,
Mhm.
from the evolution of craft. I think at
They're trendy
first
for a reason.
they're trendy for a reason, and I think at first craft had to make such an outward kind of aggressive movement in opposition to what was available at the time to differentiate itself,
Yeah.
as a category from the macro light lagers and so on and
Hmm.
so forth. And now we're kind of seeing a little bit of a relaxing of that, where it's like, look, it's craft beer isn't just about being ultra aggressive in opposition to what people love, and
Hmm.
trying to be super unique and super different. While that is clearly the case for a lot of the offerings available, there is space for both. There is
Hmm.
space for doing more comfortable offerings too, and some of the more sessionable stuff.
Yeah.
And so we've leaned into that. We're definitely on the side of we're trying to stay innovative, trying to stay one step ahead, and get customers what they don't even know they want yet.
Hmm.
Um, but at the end of the day, they're the ones driving our business, not us. So you can the way my personal philosophy is brew what you want, on the pilot system and offer it in the tap room, get feedback, and that's where a lot of the great ideas are born.
Hmm.
Um, but when it comes to running a business and making your customers happy, that really has no place in it.
Brew what you want, but sell what sells.
That's right.
I hear
At the end
that.
of
All
the
right.
day, yeah.
One last question before I let you go. You're getting a lot of love for the blood orange, but we did have a
All
question.
right.
If there's any chance of a stout.
Yeah, so we have Native Trails, which is a rotating porter series, and we have
Hmm.
an ultra limited uh, stout that usually would have been around February, but February, March, April. It wasn't this year, but keep an eye out. It will be available next year. So,
Okay.
and for all that information, by the way, really important, go follow Latitude 33 Brew on Instagram, social media, Facebook, and then we just launched our tap room social media as well. That's Latitude 33 Brew Vista, and that's where you'll find all the information on what's on tap, what's new, what's coming, and all things tap room.
Perfect. Well, that's usually where we wrap it up with all the socials. So we'll say cheers for now. Good luck, and thanks for joining us.
Cheers! Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, that was Mike from Latitude 33, but we're going to keep it going with Lance from Savage Woods. So I saw you on here earlier. I see you. We'll add you right now. Sorry that we didn't get to your question, Jacob. Ask again. Hello.
Howdy.
Oh my gosh, you look like you're in like a totally legit like sound room setup.
Oh, it's my kitchen. I got pictures of my kids behind me.
Oh,
Staying at home.
well, yeah, me too. So, see, there you go. See, today I managed to sneak away from my kids, but if you've joined in the past, you've seen mine make a couple of appearances. So, but
Yeah.
real quick, let's get an intro of who you are and who you're with.
All right. So my name is Lance Savagewood, aka Daryl Brown from Savagewood Brewing. I am the owner and main operator. We're in Scripps Ranch, right off 15 Freeway. We've been around. Let's see, we popped into the tap room October 2017. So
Yep.
this year will be our third year in business.
Sweet.
Small little neighborhood nano brewery.
Yeah. So, I mean, what have you guys had to do I think that you are one of the smaller breweries in San Diego, and so I'm curious if that kind of, not that you have much of a basis for comparison, but do you kind of think that this pandemic has been easier for you to pivot because you've got, a smaller crew already? Anything, you don't have like a ton of beer and tanks just sitting there, or do you think that it's kind of presented its own set of challenges? Like how have you kind of had to deal with what's been going on the last couple of months?
Well, not to make light of the seriousness of the overall situation,
Absolutely.
but to make a valid point, being our size, day-to-day operations weren't really affected that much.
Right.
Our tap room was small, didn't have a lot of seating anyways, so moving us to takeout only was a shift for sure in how we served the beer. But our neighborhood locals and regulars, they support us, if not the same, maybe better right now, because they're, the overwhelming sentiment is we want to make sure you're still around when this is all done. And I can't say thank you enough to our customers for that. But as far as the beer goes, at 3-barrel batches, we've never had a problem with beer sitting for too long anyways.
Right.
And it has made it nice to where we have been able to kind of gauge customer feedback now, like, oh, I really would love to have beer XYZ to take home and barbecue with right now. So we brew it, and in 2 weeks they can come pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's been advantageous to be at our size.
Yeah.
But I think as we start to open up and have reduced capacities and heavier sanitation protocols and the need for more staff with less hours and less space, I think that's where our challenge is going to be, because we don't have the size and scope to cover that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the beers that you guys have now that people could come get or could expect in the next couple weeks?
Well, we have our core beers, our Exquisite Blonde, which is our house flagship beer. It's a dry hop blonde. Our $500 Millionaire Session IPA, Gnarly Dude ESB, and then our regular rotating selection of IPAs are all available. You can see them online at any time on our website. We have a really good pineapple hazy IPA coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Sweet.
We currently have calamansi infused hazy IPA. Calamansi is a small little, they call it like the Filipino lime. It's a really tart fruit. It's really good. We've got some big dark beers coming soon. We got a lot of kind of cool stuff coming out. Oh, we're re-releasing our seasonal Lavender Wit next weekend. So all the stuff that kind of makes us unique, all these little weird things that we do, that's still in effect. The one thing that we are bummed about, though, is we've kind of notoriously been like collaboration freaks, and every month we do a collaboration with somebody, and we haven't been able to do that for a couple months, so that's been kind of boring. But we look forward to doing that again soon.
Who can you especially not wait to collaborate with?
I seem to remember a conversation last year with a couple people, some about like a cheese demon barley wine, if you remember.
Do not play. I was like, if he's going there, I am so excited. When you said dark beer, some big beers, I was just like, is it a barley wine? Is it a barley wine?
Well, we've got a big imperial brown with blackberries in it coming out next week.
Nice.
And we have this big pitch of 007 English yeast that'd be perfect for barley wine. I'm just saying, it's a good time to maybe do something. I don't know if Cheeseman's around, but
he is watching, or he was at the very least. He's very busy buying a new house, moving to don't worry about Ian. I'm your huckleberry when it comes to barley wines. I've got a 12-pack of Sierra Nevada Bigfoot in my fridge right now. Like, I'm ready.
So that sounds like some R&D work that we need to do. Maybe try some and kind of compare notes and see
Oh, I've got the
what do we
vertical.
want
I'm
to take away
ready.
with it.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Because like my dream, I was supposed to do a collaboration with Home Brewer, and I was really pushing to do Grzycki, but I'm like, a barley wine is really when I know I've made it, just in terms of collaboration. So, deal. Mark me as interested. RSVP, yes.
Awesome.
So maybe not like in August, but
No, but maybe for the fall, come out around Thanksgiving time. Yeah.
oh yeah, we did have a question on if Ride the Dragon is coming back.
See, that's a question for Brian Beagle. If Brian Beagle wants to do it, of course we'll do it again. That's
Okay, well that was
Indie Beer Show
Estella's
collab.
question. So
Well then.
I was like, I know that you've got an in with Brian, so all right.
Yeah, we can definitely do that again. That was a good one too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So where are you gonna go? The first place that you can go, or where, or you know, if you've been buying beer around town, like where have been a couple of places you've just been like patronizing lately, or any beers that you've drank lately that you've really been loving?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I feel like everybody's kind of been nailing it.
Yeah, I haven't had anything quote unquote bad in a long time. And not that I have anything bad, but I mean, if I'd say I didn't really like this one, I haven't come across anything. But I think a lot of that's just because I'm so appreciative of when I get my hands on anything at all.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like, oh, I love it, it's great, it's wonderful, give me back out into the world.
Yeah.
But as soon as things are going full blown, I mean, I got friends that I've got to go visit at like Home Brewing and Burning Beard and, you know, a couple other Thunderhawk, all these, you know, small former homebrewers that have kind of come up.
Yeah.
I frequent them. Mo at Deft Brewing. I got to go out there.
Oh yeah.
I can name them all. I mean, there's so many good places to go. I've been just getting overwhelmed with my beer lately because that's all I've been around. So.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But it's funny because like Burning Beard is now like kind of my, not hometown, like I'm closer to it, but Homebrewer was like around the corner from me. So those are like two of my just like go-tos, never going to be disappointed. Everything's going to be great. So George, if you're watching, we love you and I miss you. But where can we keep up with everything Savage Wood?
All right, so Savage Wood Brewing is the Instagram and Facebook handle. Savage Wood Beer is Twitter, but all I do is repost Instagram on Twitter, so there's nothing really interesting there aside from Instagram. SavagewoodBrewing.com is the website, and SavageWood.beer is the online store that has our full selection for online ordering and curbside pickup.
Deal. And if you are, you're drinking a beer right now, but what's the next beer that you're going to drink in your life? What's next in your fridge?
Next in my fridge is actually Hard Day Double IPA. It's one of our other core beers. It's a really good 8.5% West Coast IPA. So that'll be next.
I have been very into West Coast IPAs lately, so I'm very supportive of that decision. If that means anything.
Well, it means a lot. You bring clear beer back, right?
Well, yes. Bring it all back. I'm ready. So thank you so much for joining us. It was great to see you and check in with you, and we will discuss this barley wine situation later because I'm in.
For sure. All righty.
All right. Take care. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.
All right. That was Lance at Savage Wood. Yeah, if you haven't been there, their spot is very cool. It really is super tiny. They're just a great little spot. Like they're kind of under the radar. They're just low key. I really dig everything that Savage Wood is doing and has been doing. And I just think, that was just really cool. So, all right, we're going to keep things rolling with Chris from Pure Project. And I know that people are going to be very excited about that. So let's add him real quick. Yeah, Daryl, not Lance. How's it going?
Hello, how's it going, Beth?
It's chilling. What you pouring right now? Is that a glitter? No, I was like, okay, what is that?
So this is gonna be Super Beta. This is our quarterly core IPA over at Pure Project Brewing. I've been crushing this like crazy, so it's my favorite beer right now.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, like a favorite beer at Pure Project, like that's pretty high praise, I feel like.
Oh yeah, like it's cool because you have those beers that you like gravitate to, like Rain or Unfiltered Pilsner, but this is our highest rated IPA, and we've been brewing it fresh for the last like 3 months. So yeah, huge fan of this one.
So real quick, let's give an intro of who you are and your title at Pure Project and kind of what you guys are doing right now.
Absolutely. So hello, my name is Chris Guzman. I am the Education Program Manager at Pure Project. So I do the IG Live tastings for Pure Project. I do a little bit more of the back. I'm basically worked at a bunch of different breweries. There's always a little bit of a gap between the back of the house and the front of the house. So I just said, hey, I'll be that liaison essentially. So I talked to the brewers. What did you guys have in mind? Perfect. Front of the house. This is the idea. It's kind of like a restaurant. What do the chef want? Can the servers relay that message and get that fluidity basically? So, and I drink beer and talk about beer. That's all I do.
Yeah. And I feel like not only have educational initiatives become more important and more common over the past couple of years, I feel like at a place like Pure Project, it's even more critical because a lot of your beers aren't super straightforward. They don't fit in a neat little box that people could just be like, oh, BJCP, like I'll look at the guidelines and it is what it is. Like there's a lot of different things going on. So I can see where that like potential loss in of translation would be like absolutely critical to address.
Absolutely. And I was just chit-chatting with head brewer and Winslow. I was just talking to Winslow today, and Winslow was like, Chris, if you ever go to Europe, check it out. Belgium, there are no styles. Like we force them to go into styles, and that's kind of what we do at Pure Project. Like we have a general idea, but what we do is we focus on the ingredients. Let's say fresh organic strawberries from J Organics, fresh Admiral malt from Alameda, California. And we look at that and we're like, we could do something cool that's this type of beer style, but let's showcase the ingredients first. So like, and you have to relay that because you do get people come in and they're like, oh, that's not that. And you just say, we're inspired by agriculture and this is the beer style that kind of fits within it.
Well, and I think that makes sense for you guys too, because, you look at the menu board and it's like, okay, there's 6 ingredients or like whatever in each beer, beyond the base 4. So it's just like, you're going to pay a premium, but it's a premium product that is not necessarily I actually thought when you guys first opened in Bankers Hill, I went the Balboa Park location, and I was just like, this is the perfect spot for a Pure Project tasting room because this is not beer, like this is beer for people who like beer as well as people who don't like beer. Like this is the perfect like get some cocktail people in and like explore some different ingredients and like palate sensations and things like that. Like I feel like you guys could be either like super elevated for beer drinkers or a gateway, which is kind of like a crazy span to bridge over.
Right? It's crazy because let's say, well, we run the board when it comes to different styles for the most part.
Right.
So you could go from Rain, you could go to like a Belgian wit beer, which is Penelope. You go into, of course, what we're kind of known for, which is Murky, or what we just recently released, I think it was like last month, our Flanders style red ale, Rose Red. We could do Leaf, which is a 1-2-3-year-old lambic inspired, spontaneously fermented, barrel aged with Miramar air and Mount Laguna air, like that flora. So like, and we have hard kombucha. We want people to. Well, what Winslow always says is like, I don't make beer just for myself. I make beer for other people and for them to appreciate. So if you offer so many different varieties, there has to be a beer that someone's going to fall in love with.
Yeah, definitely. So how just operationally have things kind of changed for you guys during this?
Of course, tap room.
I mean, obviously, besides a ton.
Honestly, weirdest way, sometimes the cards just fall so beautifully. We invested in a canning line. Society bought their canning line, and we're like, okay, you know what? We've been doing this for 4 years. What if we get our own? We release limited can releases every 2 weeks. So we bought a canning line. we were looking at field work. Field work was doing these online crowlers. So before you even go in, hey, I already did my online crowler. Perfect. It's ready to go. I'm out. Was it a success? No. And then this happened, and we're like, thank God we did that. 2 weeks before this whole COVID-19, we started shipping beer within California. We got a lot of push and pulls, and then this happened, and we're like, okay. So in a weird way, beyond grateful, it landed great. It was good. It was how do I say this? We were able to adapt, and that's what it's all about. Big thing that I'm loving is that we're still focusing on our core. 1% of everything we do still goes back to grassroots foundations. We're not cheaping out on the ingredients. It's still the high octane, high level quality ingredients. And we're still doing limited can releases, including the one that we're doing with Modern Times next week. So super pumped, and we've been moving. We've had a ton of like fan support, which is amazing, honestly.
Yeah, you guys definitely have like a crew, you know, like Lady Gaga's got her monsters and you guys have like your Merksters. So you've got people.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That just popped in my head, and I am gonna pat myself on the back for that. But
air high five. Well
thanks. So one question that we've got here is, what would you say is the max storage time for a crowler?
Ooh, good question. So, real quick. So canned beer, you're looking at the DO, which is dissolved oxygen. You can get between 5 to 15 parts per billion. That's what a can is, or a bottle. When it comes to a crowler, that's all human nature. It's human error. So if you're filling it, are you putting the lid on right at an angle? It could shoot up to 500 parts per billion, making the shelf life 2 hours.
Right.
We hardcore focus on that. I always say enjoy it fresh, 3 to 5 days. I've had some, and this is from working at Stone, where it's a Woot Stout. You crack it open, you're like, I hear the fizz, taste, and you're like, that's actually really, it all depends on the beer.
Yeah.
Enjoy it fresh. The closer to the date that you plan to have it, enjoy it. That's the best time, honestly. But between 3 to 5 days, I always say 10 days, but.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to get some. I've got some work to do with my beer fridge then. So.
What crowlers or what beers are you currently enjoying, or what do you have in mind?
So I did, let's see, that smoked Kolsch from Epic I'm like obsessed with, because this is the second time I brought up the Grodzitsky today on this Instagram live stream, because Chuck Alec used to have a Grodzitsky, and that was the only one that I've ever had local. I mean, who makes them? And it was just like, I feel like that was my gateway into smoked beers, because it was just so delicate and so just deftly handled. And so I think the smoked Kolsch is as close as I can get back to that. So I've been like obsessed with that. I've kind of been getting into Berliner Weisses, which aren't my go-to typically, but it's also been so hot lately. So their Glitz and Glam, and then I made like a big long, like I got a bunch of stuff from Epic, so I've kind of been working through that. Gosh, what else? I actually ordered some beer from Oakland, because from Temescal, and they had a hazy that I really, really liked. Falls Pilsner, like the Plenty for All, has just been kind of a go-to to just like easy drinking for me. So I'm probably gonna stop by there again kind of soon. I'm like, where else have I been? I've been Second Chance's Better Days, that West Coast IPA.
I haven't had it yet. I saw it.
Oh man, it is like Second Chance. I'm like a fangirl. It's good, but like this was no joke, like one of the best West Coast IPAs I've had in a really long time. So like I super duper recommend checking it out.
You guys heard it here first from Beth. Go check out Second Chance's West Coast. Like I'm itching for it now, honestly.
It's so good. You really won't regret it. But so we've got to wrap up. Where can we find everything Pure Project to keep up with everything?
Absolutely. So purebrewing.org, I just jumped on in. First thing is going to say COVID-19. There's 3 ways to get our beer. And again, we're 1% for the planet, so 1% of everything we do goes back to grassroots nonprofit organizations. But you could walk up, of course, 6 feet, keep your mask on. You can order curbside, or you can order online, say, hey, we're about to pick this up within 24 hours. We'll have it ready for you, contact free. Show us your ID. Here's the beer, or we'll bring it out to you. We're actually shipping. We're driving it here locally in San Diego County, up to Orange County on Sundays, and we'll even deliver it to you. So
Nice.
all that information, it's on purebrewing.org. Again, it's just a way to support. For many of our fans are like, we can't even imagine San Diego without you guys. So we appreciate the love, and honestly, ton of great beers coming out. Some that I wish I could say right now, but be on the lookout, especially in June. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, okay, June. I'll check back.
Also,
oh God, that's next week. That's like, oh my gosh. Never mind. I'll definitely remember. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, and cheers for now. Till next time.
I do want to say one thing, Beth.
I'm ready.
Great American Beer Festival. One of my all-time beers that I like. I kept just like coming back. Live Oaks Grodzki. They're from Texas, Austin, Texas. Their Grodzki was like show-stopping.
Yeah?
Like you had Vinny pouring Blind Pig, which is always a momentous occasion at Great American Beer Festival.
Right.
But Live Oaks Grodzki, if I could buy literally a case of beer and stick it in the fridge, it'd be that.
It'd be that.
Oh
Deal.
my God. I'll try to find some, and maybe we do a little bit. I'll give you some.
Okay, I got 2 crowlers of Blind Pig from Blind Lady the other day, so we'll do a swap.
Sounds good. Beth, thanks so much for having me.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, that was Chris from Pure Project, and we are going to wrap things up with, last but certainly not least, one of my personal favorite women in San Diego beer. It's Amy Speckman, if I can find you. I see you. There you are. You were hiding. She's getting the Centaur question. You have to ask again, Jacob. What's up?
Hey.
What's been going on?
Doing a closet overhaul today.
Oh, there you go. Well, you've been doing it, so it's a break from your plant overhauls. Oh, you're loading. Oh, sorry. You had a little reload. I was just saying you were taking a break from your plant overhauls that you've been doing.
Yes, that's I've got a lot out there in the breeze needs to get done, and a lot that I need to go pick up from other swap tables I belong to. So yeah.
So, quick intro. I obviously know who you are, but could you please introduce yourself to the Brewers Guild world? And
Hi, Brewers Guild world. I'm Amy Spackman. I am the co-leader of San Diego's Pink Boots Society, co-leader with Lexi Martin as well, which is really great. Please go away. Thank you.
COVID interruptions, totally cool.
Total normal, you're just at your house. So anyways, I run that. We're the largest chapter on the West Coast and most active as well. And yeah.
So Pink Boots Society, it's a women's beer education organization that's focused on basically bolstering women in the craft beer space in general. And not even necessarily, is it craft beer specific, or are there women who are, part of bigger brewer associations, like bigger breweries, macro breweries? Can they be in Pink Boots too, or?
Yeah, so we host our meeting in Denver at Blue Moon, actually, which is really cool. So it's all inclusive. You don't have to be necessarily independent always. That's always encouraged. But
right.
As long as you're a female in the beer industry, making at least 25% of your income from craft beer, a student in a beer program or a brewery and planning, you're welcome to be into the group.
So what are some of the things that Pink Boots does for members? Like, what are some of the benefits of being a part of it?
The biggest benefit of being a member is our scholarships, which are crazy. I get really excited when I see them before I get to even announce them to the members of like, oh my gosh, you get to go where? And that's paid for. So there's stuff like going off to hop schools up in Yakima. There's trips to Germany. There's the Siebel Institute for brewing. There's resources for if you're studying for something. It's crazy. There's just so many scholarships. And then also the network of having reliable women that you can count on for advice within the industry or job connections, and even just coming down to, you know, just mental health connecting at an event before the meeting begins.
Yeah. Well, and it's a global organization. I mean, it's primarily the United States, it's primarily North America, but there are women from around the world who are part of the Pink Boots.
Yeah, I heard we had a brewery in Africa that even did our collaboration brew day. And I was just like, that is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and so the collaboration brew day is one of the biggest kind of initiatives that Pink Boots does every single year. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So our collab brew day this year is usually around March 8th. Not always on that. That's International Women's Day for those of you that aren't familiar. Unfortunately, some shit happened around March 8th. That kind of put a huge wrench in that.
What was it? Totally.
Yeah, I don't know. The world just stopped.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit challenging, but leave it to women to be resilient and badasses, and they made it happen. So a lot of the beer that was brewed for Collab Brew Day got put into cans, which is kind of the first time that's really happened in such mass scale.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool. But yeah, Collab Brew Day is when we partner up with YCH, Yakima Chief Hops, for those of you that aren't familiar, and Country Malt Group. And $3 of every pound that we end up making from the blend that we choose at GABF the couple months prior, that blend, $3 per pound of what is sold, goes to scholarships for the International Society. Like I said, 2 go to Germany, 2 go to hop schools. It's really freaking awesome. And this year our check presentation was the biggest it's ever been. We got to watch it on Zoom, which was super cool. And we all were just floored of, even in the midst of a pandemic, that this was still the biggest amount that we've ever received. And we are so grateful. It was crazy. We were all crying. It was just magical.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so I love that we're talking about real things, but I did tell Jacob Nikos that I would get to his centaur question. So if you had a spear and a shield, would you fight a centaur or a pterodactyl?
Could I be on Team Pterodactyl? So I guess I'd fight the centaur. I'm not really good with mythical things.
There are no wrong answers. So
yeah.
So now we have another real question from Estella. What is going to happen to the hop blend selection this year, since GABF is not a thing?
Ooh.
That might be a Laura Ulrich question.
That's a Laura and a Kelly question. I hope there's still some way that somehow that happens. The hop selection was freaking so cool.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, no amount of soap, hot water, hand sanitizer could get off that green stain that was on your hands and that lived under your nose. And you're walking around like, hey, everyone, just don't mind me.
Just a hop monster, no big deal.
So yeah, I really don't know the answer to that. That would be, Kelly said that they're working on it. Fantastic. Of course you are, Kelly. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Lady Truck.
I will never understand how women are not running the world at this point, because we are very, like you said, resilient and smart and organized, and we are geniuses. So,
and women are already like, oh yeah, we're on this shit. We already thought about that. Don't even worry. Don't sweat.
Don't even worry about it. We've got it handled.
I will say real quick that I think it's so cool, before all this happened, that when we were at the last actual physical Brewers Guild meeting, all of the women that were there were all Pink Boots members.
Nice.
Every one of them. And that was the coolest thing. And we got everyone for a picture, and we're like, wait, you're a member, everyone's a member. Holy crap. That was so freaking cool.
That's awesome.
And so there's a really cute picture that we wrangled someone to take for us. And
probably some stupid dude.
Just super happy memories, and I just love that we get to talk about Pink Boots and also have had such a huge female presence at the last physical Brewers Guild meeting. So
definitely. That is so awesome. Where can people find everything going on at Pink Boots San Diego specifically?
So our Instagram is maintained by the lovely Romy of Bountiful Bag. She's fantastic. If you notice, when the Instagram was not so cute, that's when I was running it. And then when it came really cute, Romy runs it.
She's got that eye.
She does such a good job, way better than like my clip art crap I was putting together. She kills it. So PBS San Diego on the Instagram. If you are a member of Pink Boot Society, a paid member, we have a private member Facebook page. If you are just a supporter of Pink Boots but not a member for one reason or the other, there's a regular Pink Boots San Diego page on Facebook. And then from there's a national page on Facebook that anyone can be a part of. But anything with super cool resources, information, you have to be a paid member, which the dues are, I believe, $45
maybe
for the entire year.
Yeah, it's very inexpensive.
And you get all the scholarships, you get job postings, all the things. And so I think it's 100% the best. That's a bar tab at anywhere.
And I know that there are, like, I've seen some resources, like if you legit can't pay, like there are ways to work that out. And so that's a really cool part of Pink Boots too, is just like, if you want to be a part of it, like we're going to find a way to bring you in. So no problem there.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. I wish we could talk forever. Maybe we'll just FaceTime later.
We'll just do that.
But enjoy that Plenty for All. I am jealous and out currently, so I think I'm going to need to go to Paul this weekend and get some more.
Loaded up on the Let's Go IPA and the Plenty for All, and then the 2 a.m. bike ride cans are now, oh my God.
Yay! All right. I'm going, fine, I'll go, I guess.
Yes.
So it was good to check in with you. We will talk soon.
Thanks, Beth. Love you. Talk
Love
to you
you
soon.
too.
Bye.
That was Amy Spackman on behalf of Pink Boots San Diego. So we are done for the day. If you have any questions or would like to follow up about anything, please feel free to shoot us a message. Obviously on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I feel like this was a really great week. If you would like to participate next week, if you are a brewery that hasn't yet been featured, or an employee or somebody who can speak on behalf of a brewery, please do reach out. We always love to get more people lined up every single week. Visit sdbeer.com this week, sign up for the newsletter, order some merch, just to check in and see how we can best support the San Diego beer community at large. But once again, I am Beth Demmin. You can find me at The Delighted Bite on Instagram, or on Twitter at Delighted Bite. We've got some character limitations there. And anyway, we appreciate you tuning in. Find these on YouTube afterwards. If you missed out, we are putting those on a San Diego Brewers Guild playlist. And until next time, cheers and thank you. Happy Wednesday.